What's up, Wastelanders? We're finally back at the Capital Wasteland, and what better unit to return to the DC area than a classic? Talon Mercs. They take any job, no target too innocent. They'll do anything if the price is right. And how would that work if, instead of the Lone Wanderer, we were playing as an operative of the Talon Company? Well, I'd say we're off to a decent start with this gear at our disposal. That combat armor is nothing to shake a stick at, with having decent damage reduction, and I definitely like what we have as far as our weapons are concerned. After how tough of a journey Walta had in Old World Blues, I'm very happy to have such variety and decent protection too. You always need good protection. That said, we might be strapped for caps this run. Having this much available to us means we'll have to be well stocked in all of our weapons, and that'll make embracing our melee selection pretty appealing. Speaking of which, the only things I had to console command in were our armor and the combat knife. Figured that was a solid starting weapon. Speaking of console commands, here's our special. We have a couple of choices here and there, if I read the wiki right, are determined by the Talon's rank, so we'll go with the top set. Decent strength, good perception, and above average agility. That means we can carry a fair bit, and can even dip into some sneak-based perks like silent running or light step if we want to. Not too concerned about the 3 int because we do find the eponymous bobblehead at Dr. Lee's lab. As far as tagged skills go, I actually couldn't find any for the Talon bro, so I went with a custom set that I thought would be the most fitting. I went with energy weapons, explosives, and melee weapons. If you're new here, first off, welcome aboard. Just know that in our Fallout 3 runs that we always go for the bobbleheads pertaining to our tagged skills. Fans voted on this edition months ago, and I gotta say, it keeps the Fallout 3 challenges fun and fresh for me. Oh, and why are we playing as a female Talon? They do exist contrary to popular belief. There are a few of them, but they are a thing. Going from memory, there's a couple in the DC area, and there's one dead in, I think it's Corvega. Don't remember all the locations, but they are on the wiki if you want to check. With all that out of the way, let's get to it. Let's set the scene for our protagonist. Our character has been personally handpicked by Commander Jabsco to scout areas of the Capital Wasteland that are largely untapped as far as Talon influence and reconnaissance goes. As our presence is greater around the Fort Bannister territory, as well as much of the DC ruins, our leader says that Talon influence must spread and we're right for the job. Megaton's a great start, as it's a well-known settlement in the Capital Wasteland, and as you've seen, we have 2 options regarding the infamous bomb. Sims has offered us 100 caps, and with some, shall we say, persuasive tactics, Mr. Burke is offering us 10 times the amount to rig it, with a fusion pulse charge so that we can set it off from a safe distance. As mentioned before, Talons take any job no matter what, as long as the caps are right. And in the context of the setting, 1,000 bottle caps is a lot of money. Unbeknownst to our femme fatale, we'll also be getting a nice reward in the way of some sweet player housing. A ton of money in one of the best suites in the entire wasteland, and all we gotta do is set off a bomb and off a few schmucks. Guys, I think we found the perfect character who would canonically set off the bomb. It'll certainly spread Talon influence, and probably not in the way we'd like. Nah, who am I kidding? With how Talons operate, it's the exact message we want to send. Our arch enemies, the regulators, might not like it, but they can come and do something about it. And that's the general gist of it. Spread Talon influence across the wasteland so that our great company can rule over it. This might be the shortest scene setting I've done to date, and that's a fun little change of pace. What'll be fun is tying this character into the Project Purity story, and I've got a fun idea for that we'll dive into once we get to that point. But for now, sit back, enjoy the show, enjoy the fireworks as we begin our journey. Now that's a heck of a way for a character to hit 3rd level. I figure going into lockpick, sneak, and medicine's the way to go. For our perk, I figure we'll take a rank in Little Leaguer to gain a +5 to melee and explosives. With all that out of the way, let's go and meet our next client, the infamous Roy Phillips, and he wants to get into Tenpenny Tower, preferring to do so by force after his wonderful exchange with Chief Gustavo, head of Tenpenny Security Force. Now, we haven't been paid to come here. We could have been, but we haven't asked Gustavo, so we couldn't trigger the quest, so why help Roy? What's in it for us? Well, since Roy wants to raid Tenpenny and is open to smooth skins sympathetic to his cause, we can join him in taking on the Tower Security Force. However, in order to make our way to him, we have to cut our way through the ferals infesting Warrington Metro system. This is one of the reasons why I opted to only give us the combat knife as our starting weapon. Oh, that Commander Jabsko, I think he just sees good things in us. Maybe we're the reason why he has his own combat knife and named it Occam's Razor to distinguish himself from us, although we're the way better fighter. Anyway, the Ferals aren't bulky per se, but when they gang up on you, the damage can really add up, especially when we have to fight roamers. No Reavers this run, thankfully. And now, before we came here, we paid Lucky Harith's old shop a little visit. There was a scav inside, and we helped ourselves to their good old missile launcher. Man, I love having this thing available to us this run. It only takes one missile to destroy the generators powering this electronically locked door, allowing the Ferals to get in, and we gotta make sure that we talk to Roy Phillips before we enter. That way we get the Ghoul Mask, a really awesome quest item. So long as we have it equipped, Feral Ghouls will not attack us. It really feels like the predecessor to the faction armor in New Vegas. As we hit level 4, we're going to put some points into explosives, small guns, and hey, barter. Why not? We're learning to negotiate. Now, as we get inside, I'm going to brighten the room here just so it's easier for you guys to follow, but I didn't notice this going through initially, but watch Roy Phillips' health very closely. Might have passed us by already, but, well... I didn't know that Roy could actually die during this quest. It's never happened to me before. One other thing you want to do here, if you choose to go this route, is that you want to personally kill Dr. Banfield, as well as Lydia Montenegro. I think you can find her here. Point being that you want to get their keys to their stash. That way you can, open up their supply caches without their permission. We don't say raiding here. That's a bad word. Along with luck and good fortune. Potty mouth. Yeah, still riding the high from that Walter White Old World Blues run. That was a good time. But yeah, like I said before, I actually didn't notice that Roy died. And I spent a fair bit of time looking for him, but nope, he's just chilling right here. Well, now he's chilling right there. Now, why do we side with Roy Phillips? Well, it's going to be a lot easier for us to take this tower over, for our Talon brothers to take it over, because there's only a couple of ghouls here. Gotta think long term, man. Well, we can honor Roy Phillips' gift by going over to Dunwich Building and getting the melee weapons bobblehead. With the Ghoul Mask, this place is going to be very easy to get through. Hey, you know what's really awesome? If you have Talon Wastelands installed and you bring the Ghoul Mask on over to the Mojave, you can go to Repcon or the Crashed Vertibird. Any place with ferals there, they won't attack you as long as you have it on. It's pretty awesome. That also applies for the pre-war books that are over there. You can go back to Scrab Yearling over at Arlington Library and absolutely destroy the economy of that game. Just like we're about to destroy the hopes and dreams of Evan King here. I actually have never tried killing him before. Like, I've not helped Erifu, but I know that he has a key on him, and our protagonist, well, through the powers of us playing this game before, knows there's just something inside of that house that she wants. Still, though, you have to admire the guts on this guy. He sees some lady with Talon combat armor. He might not recognize where it comes from. Either way, it's heavy armor. And a missile launcher, and saw a rad scorpion go flying over the bridge, and he still tells her, he still smack talks her like he can take her on. I don't think so, man. And the funny thing is, as we go to loot him, and I do appreciate that 556 ammo for our Chinese AR that we graciously got from the corpse of Roy Phillips, turns out he doesn't have the key to his own house on him. I could have sworn you could pickpocket that, but I guess not. Yeah, that's alright. We can come back here once you have 50 lockpick. We want to get our lockpick to 50 anyway for something a little bit later on the run, but we'll get to that later. Right now, we got some green giants to kill. Who let them out of the can? As we've been carving out some territory for our Talon bros, we've managed to come across Rivet City, and there's a doctor awfully worried about an old friend of hers who showed up after 20 years and just disappeared again. Our protag didn't pay much attention to the finer details, sob story that it was, but we were told that we'd be paid well for our services upon the return of one James, not sure what his last name is, and our character doesn't care either. Our payment was the very rare bobblehead, the intelligence bobblehead, so that we can get the educated and comprehension perks now. Thank you very much, that's great. Allegedly sells for lots of caps, same password as Colin Moriarty has for his terminal. Very good password too, I might add. So we accepted it, and we totally believed what she said. After all, Madison Lee is a doctor. I always enjoy this part of any Fallout 3 run because the super mutants are very fun to fight, and sometimes we encounter centaurs, and I think that is, sometimes we get a centaur to spawn inside of the rotunda. We didn't this time around. But one thing that is constantly awesome about Jefferson Memorial and taking out these super mutants is the fact that they drop hunting rifles, ammunition, and a whole bunch of other cool stuff to sell, especially if we fight super mutant brutes, and we always fight at least one here. And now, because our protagonist started with just a combat knife, I imagine that she's quite familiar in close quarters combat with these green giants. So getting her hands on some better weaponry as her adventures throughout the wasteland have progressed, yeah, these guys aren't that difficult to put down so long as we don't let them bunch up on us. Hey, we got that very rare bobblehead for taking out some super mutants. That's pretty darn cool. And now, I just realized when I was putting this video together that apparently I forgot to record the Tranquility Lane scene. Yeah, we went with the good ending, I guess you could call it. Because I'd like to think that a Talon Company Merc would not want to waste their time. They would want to try to be as efficient as possible. So, in order to maximize our protagonist's efficiency, we've made our way on up to where the good old-fashioned explosives bobblehead is. We haven't been here for quite a while. I remember this mostly from our NCR Trooper run in Fallout 3. Ah man, that run was super fun quite a while ago, but I remember it like it was yesterday. Super fun time. You should check that out if TTW content interests you at all. And it wouldn't be a Talon Company mercenary run if we didn't battle our archenemy, the Regulators, so let's go beat some up, shall we? Well, because they're not automatically hostile, I guess they have a sense of fair play letting us draw first blood. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Missile launcher combined with our Chinese AR, yeah, these guys don't stand much of a chance, although, because we don't have protection for our head, and the Regulators are pretty well armed, that could have gone south real fast. We do have our health drop below half at some point, but thankfully we can hotkey stim pack, so not a problem. Oh, and as we make our way to Taft Tunnels, if you're curious about the name, I named our Talon Bro after a friend's OC. That's also why our Talon Bro has silver-ish hair. I don't know, he's a cool dude. I needed a name for this character, and I wanted to do well by him and his OC, so hey, here we are. Speaking of here we are, I called this place Taft Tunnels. Now that's coming up. Jefferson Memorial, round one with the Enclave. Let's go. Well, we've already taken care of one jabroni here, and, well, this guy, apparently he wants to play the good old wait-and-see game. Didn't know that General Oliver was in charge of the Enclave. Maybe he's a double agent we don't know about. No, that would definitely be Chief Hanlon. With our trusty good old-fashioned combat shotgun, we take out this guy decked in advanced high-tech power armor like it's nothing, and unfortunately, I'm not able to pickpocket Colonel on him this time around, despite my best efforts to the contrary. So now we're going to go to Taft Tunnels, say hello to another member of our arsenal, the Lead Pipe, and we're going to introduce it to the Pharaoh proper. And now, typically nowadays in Fallout 3, I just cut past Taft Tunnels. There's not a whole lot to see here, but man, I tell you what, Dr. Lee and these other guys we gotta escort were super annoying this time around. They typically are. But anytime I try to bludgeon one of these ferals, Lee or someone else is getting our way. There's a lot of places in Fallout 3 I love, but man, I hate this sequence. They're so annoying. But hey, this time we get to do something about it proper because Dr. Lee wants to give him stim packs, and we have a medicine stick of our own. Okay, with the Garza situation dealt with, we can move on, thankfully. Now, I cleaned out Vault 108 so we get the Charisma bobblehead, so we could take Child at Heart, and for the first time in quite a while, we are skipping over Paradise Falls. Not just that, but this little dude right here has an awesome unique laser rifle to give us. Next to the missile launcher and the Fat Man, that is our strongest weapon. It's why I felt justified in giving us energy weapons as one of our tagged skills, and that'll make getting the bobblehead even more awesome. Hoping we can get past Vault 87 here on the first try. Now, while I think the Talon Merc is definitely armed enough to go through Murder Pass, a Talon Merc is gonna do a job by the easiest, most efficient way possible, so having Joseph jury-rigging this door open for us seems like the route that feels the most in line with Talon thinking. It's worth backtracking here to get the Stealth Boy, along with the first aid box and some other useful supplies like ammunition. As we make our way to the first of many encounters, we're gonna bludgeon some rad roaches with our lead pipe, and then switch to some actual weaponry to battle the first of many super mutant waves coming our way. I figure to pull the first one with our Waytha rifle. Thanks, Billy. Love your unique laser rifle. You're awesome. The unique laser rifle is pretty darn awesome, but I think for these guys it's best to go with a combat shotgun for these closed quarters. That's what shotguns are designed for, after all. Trust me, I've only ever fired a BB gun in a 22 in real life. I know what I'm talking about. And bows and crossbows, but those don't count. Having way too much fun with this voiceover. Wait, there's no such thing as too much fun with a voiceover. Well, I'd ask this super mutant for his opinion, but I suspect it's not going to matter, and, well, now. Our next two encounters entail two super mutants, one regular, one brute, 1v1. They're not all that difficult to put down. And before our showdown with the two on the walkway, we're gonna take a drink from that delicious radiated water. I gotta say though, 24 hit points, 5 rads, yeah, I drank that. And it's time for us to bust out our most powerful weapon, the Fat Man, and firing that bad boy off, down goes that super mutant, and the other one, yeah, I'd say that's a good night, Irene. Oh man. Oh, I love this run. Having the time of my life in Vault 87. It's very rare that we go through here so smoothly so quickly, so let's enjoy this while it lasts. After we dispose of this super mutant right here, we gotta battle a centaur, very easy to put down with our unique laser rifle, and we also get the jump on another basic super mutant, no problem whatsoever. And now here's the part where fans of the channel will be like, oh Raz, you're gonna free Fox, aren't you? Nope, not this time. We have no interest in freeing that guy. I mean, you could make the argument that a Talon bro would do it just to save their own hide, but we're not going to do it for the sake of the challenge. Yeah, we're going to go not just to the irradiated chamber, fighting our way through it, but we're going to go get the Gek ourselves this time. And I'll be straight with you, I thought that I would misfire that missile launcher and take a ton of splash damage, but nope, I got pretty lucky with that aim. That wasn't skill, that was just me, my trigger finger not going off at the wrong time there. But yeah, once I saw our inventory, now, I did a Faction Warriors run as a Talon Merc a while back, so I remembered some of what we had, but not all of it. I was adamant about not saving Fox, though. I love that big guy, but, you know, for the sake of challenges, man, sometimes, bro's just gotta rot in his cell. I like to think that we just have an extremely confident protagonist. Playing as a Talon bro is pretty darn fun, and that has me wondering, which faction in Fallout 3 do you guys like the best? Now, let's not include the Brotherhood or the Enclave because they come from previous titles. The question should be, which faction unique to Fallout 3 do you guys like the most? I like the Regulators and the Talons quite a bit. Alright, time to go get that Gek ourselves, slap on some Rad-X, and holy mackerel, are we getting the mother of all rads. If this was Fallout 4, we'd be in a lot of trouble. First try though, been a while since we've done that, am I right? As we make our way back out, we get captured by the Enclave, and President Eden wants to see us. Colonel Autumn has other ideas, but we also have other ideas. Once we pop that sweet stealth boy, we can make our way to Colonel Autumn's personal room. Now, we always make a pit stop there anyway, but because energy weapons is one of our tagged skills, we have to get that bobblehead. That's a very easy one to miss, by the way. Can't tell you how many times I missed that while I was playing Fallout 3 back in my youngin' days. Oh, I'm still young, but my youngin' days. Now, it's not just the bobblehead we want to get here. There's a very well-hidden first aid box on top of the lockers, but more importantly, Colonel Autumn's foot locker. I know fans of the channel are very tired of hearing me say this probably, but this is always somebody's first video. They might not know this is here. But the Zack self-destruct sequence holotape, absolutely want to get that, along with the massive buff-out Mentats. Dr. Mobius would love that. And 10mm rounds, which we can sell for some minuscule caps. And just make sure that when you get the holotape, you listen to it. That way you can get the self-destruct sequence. Then you can tell Eden his own self-destruct sequence after he tries to get you to poison the water, which our Talon bro is going to say no to that. I mean, not only is Eden not offering any payment, but that would hurt our company and us quite a bit. And by hurt us quite a bit, I mean we'd be dead after drinking that water. All we gotta do now is make our way out of Raven Rock, and we didn't save Fox, so, we're gonna see something a little bit different here. On our way out, it's our civic duty to kill these Enclave soldiers and return that high advanced tech power armor to Protector Caston. Yeah, we've been doing that routinely throughout this run. I think that the Outcasts and the Talon Mercs, I mean, they would eventually go to war, but for the time being, our Merc, being as resourceful as she is gonna be like, oh, they want power armor? We don't wear power armor. Yeah, sure, fine, whatever. I'm sure that'll change in the future of this timeline here. But on our way out here, I was pretty surprised by what happened as we make a mad dash for the exit because, I mean, the sentry bots got us covered, right? Yeah, check out our health, man. We almost died on the way out here. Oh, and because there's no Fox cutscene, we can just go ahead and fast travel, and we are going to go to Erifu after we drop off the power armor and equipment. I did say we were returning once we got a 50 lockpick, and by golly, I want that repair bobblehead, although we're not going to need it for very long. Well, we're back at JMM for round 2 with the Enclave, round 3 for coming here because we've had 3 big battles here. No mutants to participate. Probably good for them because we're going to whip out the Fat Man and blow away half of the room inside. No sandbags protecting the Enclave from that. Thanks to that good old mini-nuke going off, cleanup duty, pretty easy, very fast, very efficient. Love to see it, very in character for the Talons. We got one jabroni whose candy ass needs straightening out, and then it's time to enter the rotunda and battle Colonel Autumn and his 2 cheerleaders. We cut straight to the chase saying we're going to enjoy killing him, and well, I kinda did here because Colonel Autumn decided to show up to a battle with heavily armed soldiers with a trench coat. Who does this guy think he is, Dante? And that's a wrap. That was a very fun run. Certainly not the hardest run on this channel. In fact, it was definitely one of the easier ones, but it was super fun. It's not often we get access to such a powerful arsenal. Definitely savored that because, well, our next Fallout 3 run is going to be quite the doozy, but we'll get to that here in just a sec. Our Talon bro, of course, is going to tell Sarah Lyons to go punch in the code herself, but gives her the code as a gesture of decency. I really hope you guys enjoyed that run. Once our little outro card here fires up, you guys can see some runs that are coming up. Now, I'm going to be putting my time into getting that Elder Scrolls Oblivion without magic or magical gear run done so, but I have quite the Fallout New Vegas backlog in store because April Fool's is right around the corner, and I had such a fun idea for it that I think you guys are absolutely going to love. Not just that, but it's high time we got that Fallout 3 What If done. I'm very excited to be finished with that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you at the next video. Later.